Okay, it's 5 o'clock on Monday, November 17th. We'll call this city council meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone, and if everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Deb.
John.
Here.
Kathy. Here. Harlan.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Rodney.
Here.
Jessica. Here.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Brad. Any discussion on the agenda? Roll call, Deb.
John.
Yes.
Kathy. Yes. Harlan.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes.
Motion carried. Across the mayor's desk, I'd again like to thank our videographer, Nick Depew. He was with us a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago, I guess, last time we met, so appreciate you being here again. And I just want to take this opportunity to extend my best wishes to Bishop Garrigan football team. Hope they have a very successful game this Thursday morning early, like at 9:30 down at the Unidome. So they play Woodbine for the state championship, so we certainly hope all goes well. Also want to thank the community for their donations last Friday with Stuff to Trailer. I believe $54,258 plus the food that was raised, which is a record. I think last year it was about 42 or 43,000. And also thank KOGA radio station for taking over that project as well from AK Chrome. And since Thanksgiving is a week and a half away, just wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving. So, council have anything they would like to share? Okay, we'll move to an update from the city administrator.
Just one quick announcement, a reminder that this Friday, November 21st, we are hosting the Chamber Coffee at 9:30 out at the airport for the ribbon cutting of the airport runway displacement and extension project. So that project, planning for that began in the mid-90s. So we're happy to see that finally concluded and celebrate that. So the public's invited to that, learn a little bit more about the project. A lot of folks don't necessarily have a reason to go out to the airport, but we'll be reviewing the project and talking about the economic benefits and impacts of having a municipal airport has on our community. So invite people out this Friday at 9:30.
Very good. Anything else? Okay, thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7. This is citizens' opportunity to address the council with any item that's not on the agenda. Not seeing anyone in the council chambers that would like to speak. We'll move to our consent agenda, and that includes approving the minutes from our October 20th regular city council meeting, approve the bills that are to be paid, and approve the department reports as well as the minutes from the various boards and commissions that have met.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion from Harley, second from Brad. Any discussion? Roll call there.
John.
Yes.
Kathy. Yes. Harlan.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes.
Motion carried. Move to new business agenda item number 9. This is a resolution approving professional services agreement with Bolton and Mink. And Matt Cole is approaching the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you'll see the task order for 2026 street improvements design. This includes the mill and overlay projects, areas that include Thornton from McGregor to Overmeyer, and from State to Call, along with Woodward Street from Linden to State. So that's kind of the 10-block mill and overlay project phase that is going to happen in 2026. That's kind of the bulk of the work. We've done those similar projects several of the last 5 years. Crack sealing project with all the ash trees and everything. The city's going to bid out a crack seal project in 2026, so the city staff doesn't have to do it all themselves. So there's several blocks there, I think about 5.5 miles of street along with 2 parking lots. Put some plans and specifications together to go out for a bid on crack sealing, and then the seal coat projects, all the mill and overlay projects from 2021, 2022, and 2022 are going to be on the list to get seal coated to to protect those new pavement areas. So that's, so guys, any questions on the task force?
What's the difference between crack seal and just straight up seal?
So a seal coat is actually where they spray the emulsion, the asphalt emulsion on the road and then cover it in chip rock, pack it in, and then the traffic kind of packs that in there. That's for pavement that's in better shape. The crack sealing is where they actually route and seal cracks in the asphalt. So that's just what the city does with their own crew, where they're blowing out, making a dusty mess, and then filling it in with the liquid hot pour.
And I'm not sure when's the last time we a crack seal project, but you see there's about, I think, the 80 blocks plus the Central Park South parking lot, and then, Moore Street, Nebraska Street parking lot downtown. And that's just kind of looking at, it takes our whole street department crew plus one person for the assembly line of doing crack sealing. And with all kind of the other work that we're doing, we want to see kind of where prices come in, if we can knock out a whole bunch of streets, if that's going to be kind of a better use of our resources and time to catch up a lot. And kind of see if we want to continue that in the future, every so many years of crack sealing. While we'll still have our own machine to do it spots, it takes a lot of man hours to be doing that. I think it might make sense to contract that element out.
Okay.
So this resolution approves the data collection, design, and then public bidding for these three projects. They'll just go to the calendar year 2026. They'll be bid as three separate projects, and then assuming we get competitive prices and move forward with the agreements, then at that point we'd have an updated task order for construction, administration, and field work with both of them.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Rodney. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, Matt. Oh, you're
I'm
on.
on next.
Okay. Then item number 10, then approves the pay application for the Nebraska Street, Thornton Street reconstruction project.
All right, I'll start with an update for the project. The substantial completion date was Saturday, November 15th. The contractor has asked for an extension on that, obviously with the wet conditions in the spring and the summer. Definitely justified to give them a little more time to get this wrapped up. They did work all weekend, poured concrete on Saturdays and forms on Sunday. Did pour the main line, the north half of Nebraska Street, the final block to go this morning. Tomorrow they're going to pour the other half, along with half of the decorative sidewalks, all the exposed aggregate sections along Nebraska Street on both sides. And then Wednesday, Thursday, they'll be pouring the rest of the colored concrete sections in that block and in the Thornton, Nebraska intersection. And then Friday, they'll be tying in a few other things. But hopefully have the bulk of the concrete work poured out by the end of this week and into next week. They're going to be working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, week of Thanksgiving. Hopefully have the remaining concrete work wrapped up with there's some decorative beam curves and some paver bottoms and some of that stuff. Hoping to have all that done so the paver company can come the week after Thanksgiving and set the permeable pavers in the parking lot and on Nebraska Street. So we can get those sections fully open. The parking lot is partially open to employees and apartment users and Billy Joe's owners and staff. Just kind of a soft open, just to get a little traffic off of State Street, some of the side streets that have been busy since the parking lot's been closed. So that's where that's at. I would say early December it should be done with bringing in dirt and late season sod here in the south block of Thornton. And then next year we'll do all the plantings and the trees, which was the original plan anyway, so. Is there any questions on?
Did you say they asked for an extension? When we started talking about this project, did you say that they asked for an extension?
Yeah, so at our last construction meeting, their projected schedule kind of bled into late November. And with the holiday season, they just asked for substantial completion to get moved to December 15th officially. So we have another progress meeting on Wednesday. We'll discuss that some more, but with the amount of rain that we got, the substantial amount of rain that we got in the spring and through the summer, there hasn't been a day in the last 3 months that they haven't been out there. They've been working every Saturday, so definitely putting in the effort to get it done. It's just,
Are we good on the weather turns bad next week? What's the?
yeah, so like I said, all the concrete work will be poured this week, so there'll just be some smaller areas that if they do need to, blanket the ground from freezing and then blanket the concrete, obviously, as they pour. That's just kind of what happens in the late season of construction here, but yeah, I think the forecast for this week is looking good still. It cools off Thursday, but they've kind of taken the rain chances out, so.
I just hate pouring concrete this time of year. The weather, and it's a significant project, so is there any additional warranty they're gonna?
No, we still have, it's still a 4-year warranty on all the surfacing, so not really worried about any of that. We've poured plenty of concrete in November on the last several projects, so.
I mean, maybe sometimes we don't always talk about it too much, it seems like, but every other day we're having a conversation about kind of forecast, the temperatures, what the precipitation is looking like, and ultimately they've got to meet, the performance standards. So especially like on like the decorative paving, we don't want to run the chance, okay, blankets getting put on that and that messing up the pattern. There's other areas where, okay, if there's some imprints from, blanket on the sidewalk, it's like, negligible. So, that's certainly, we're aware of that ultimately, hey, if something happens where they can't get it done, they have to kind of put in some temporary sacrificial panels that get torn out next spring. Or if, something happens during the curing that it doesn't, get finished right, then it'll have to, be redone in the spring.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on all that. Obviously, the cool temperatures are basically just overnight and they're starting to pour in the morning. So if we can get the concrete poured and get a lot of the cure time on it, before we have to cover it up with blankets, it does set up fairly quick. And we can put the blankets on it when it's not wet right away. So after they burn it, they can cover it up and get it protected. And as long as nobody steps on the blanket or anything like that, which happens occasionally. But yeah, they're still under warranty, and if we have any bad pours, we'll remedy them right away.
Thank you.
So the paper's just set in on rock, so there's no
Yep.
cement work or anything like that needs to be done with them?
Yep, yeah, so the pavers in the parking lot are done in the north 2/3. It's just that south edge that we needed to pour the sidewalk to hold the paver in, which the sidewalk and the beam curbs are getting poured this week, so we'll be able to put the pavers in as soon as basically they can drive on the street, which won't be until the week after Thanksgiving with the pour schedule, so.
Move to approve pay application.
Second.
Motion from Brad, second from Kathy. Any other discussion? Roll call, Deb.
Don.
Yes.
Kathy. Yes. Harlan.
Yes.
Brad.
Yes.
Rodney.
Yes.
Jessica. Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Matt.
Agenda item number 11 approves the pay application for the airport runway extension paving and lighting improvement project.
This is pay application number 6 from Boltmer Inc. In the amount of $141,072. There is, for the amount of $260,372.42. There is approximately $141,000 left in work under the contract, plus about $81,000 in retainage at the time of this pay app. I haven't checked with the airport engineer this week, but just based on our conversation last week, pretty much all that work outstanding was expected to be finished by the end of next week.
So that was doing the final installs and some of the lighting, electrical, getting the pavement markings down. So the FAA right now, I believe, is looking at next week for coming in and getting an instrument rated. But the airport, the hard surface runway did reopen last week. But right now it's just, excuse my lack of use of the technical terms, but it's basically just landing, by sight at this time. And then you won't be able to land, via instruments until the FAA has done all their, basically, work in the data collection and flying it and designating
And
everything.
coordinates and stuff.
Yeah.
Motion to approve pay application for runway extension.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from John. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
John?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 12, approves the pay application for the wastewater treatment improvements.
Yeah, can everyone hear, Maria?
Yes. Hi, Emma.
Okay, so, hi, I've got Kevin here with me as well. This is Emma Ellenberger at WHS. So the person has got here a $1,489,191.03 pay application to Woodruff Construction for their work on the treatment plant. We are about a year and a half into construction. We're at 61% on the pay apps, and the contractors are making really good progress. We have all of the concrete and equipment installed for the new nutrient removal treatment train at this treatment plant. And now we're just coordinating with suppliers to get that started up here over the next month or two. And then come spring, they'll kind of start the second phase of the project, which involves demoing all of the existing treatment equipment, and there's a few miscellaneous items that they'll also be adding on to the project but aren't directly related to nutrient removal. So that's the status on that. Let me know if you have any questions on the pay application.
Motion to approve pay application 18.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Kathy to approve this pay application. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
John?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. Agenda item number 13 is a change order for the wastewater treatment improvement project.
Yeah, so on this one, we've been kind of gathering a bunch of miscellaneous smaller items, which is why this is one of the bigger change orders that we've seen so far. But as you're getting into these finer details to get this new treatment train up and running, we found a few, conflicts with what's existing in the field and just trying to make sequencing work with some unexpected items. So that's why there are so many items. And then the one I just want to highlight is that for one of the larger cost items is for clarifier equipment replacement. So that came in at $211,023, and that only is a material only change. We will still be anticipating on a upcoming change order that we will have labor and painting for that equipment as well. However, we really wanted to push this one in order to get it ordered because it has quite a long lead time, and we hope to get going on getting that equipment replaced. And the reason that one came about is we had this initially in the project, some rehab on those clarifiers, and once the contractor drained it on and started working on the clarifier equipment, it was identified that the condition was beyond what we were expecting, and a rehab is not going to be adequate, and replacement of the equipment is necessary instead. So we want to get that included in this project rather than waiting a couple of years down the line, probably having to do replacement of it at that point. So the overall cost on this change order is $336,498. All of the change orders to date have a $396,119.12, and the total revised contract price is $28,866,119.12. That's about a 1.39% overall increase at this point, a year and a half into the project.
The total in my memo is incorrect. The total is 336,498 as Emma stated.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's not any other items I wasn't sure if you wanted to hear line by line, kind of reiterating the descriptions on those, so.
We can probably read those, but just a concern about this amount of change orders, does this affect our bottom line at all? Is there a certain amount of overage figured in, or?
Yeah, I guess in terms of, what we're authorized for, for bar and SRF wise, that, we're at, we're planning to use cash and not have to, spend all that, so we have some room that, if it goes over the estimated price, I think we, had authorized to borrow up to 30 million, and, we're at 29.5 right now. And then as Emma mentioned, we're about a little over 1% in terms of, when you kind of look at it's a number of change orders, and you never like to do change orders, but on a project that's $29 million and takes place over 3 construction seasons and so many existing buildings and new equipment, a lot of moving parts. I mean, some of this stuff is just until you can actually get out in the field, okay, where's that going to be routed? Okay, now that has a conflict with something we didn't realize it was going to have a conflict with. And so kind of working those out, and all these, as we're having our weekly construction meetings, we're going through them, because these aren't really, it's kind of, how we accommodate, not whether or not we, make these, kind of necessary changes. But always trying to make sure, well, this is something we can do, hire out separately, put under this general contract, but then, kind of accumulating them as opposed to, individually doing each one of these, just kind of efficiency-wise on paperwork.
Move to approve the change order.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Jessica. Any other discussion? Vote please, Deb.
Don?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harlan?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And Emma, are you still with us then for these?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Agenda item number 14, approves the change order for the sanitary sewer manhole repair improvements.
Yeah, so this one, we have 2 I&I projects that got bid back in September, and we started kickoff these in October, and the contractors on both of these projects have begun work here in November. So we're happy to see that progress is starting. Similarly, on these projects to what Jacob was kind of explaining about the treatment plant, there are items that you don't realize are existing in the field until you actually uncover the earth and get down and see what's going on in the pipes. So specifically on this whole project, the change is to have an external drop added into the manhole. So this is a pipe that comes in further above the channel in the manhole. We want to actually drop that down outside of the manhole, have it come in at flow line. This improves ease of maintenance and also improves how the manhole holds up over time. If you have big flows, coming through the manhole and it's splashing all over, it creates a mess and a maintenance item, and so we want to avoid that preemptively. The change for that is $12,815, which is a reasonable cost number to what we have seen on other manhole projects. So.
So I just got a graphic up on the screen, so rather than the, pipe basically it dropping down like a waterfall, where you actually know that it's, here's the manhole, and it's put in a pipe, so it's coming down and lower, so you don't have just that free fall of water or sewage.
Motion to approve the change order.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Don, to approve this change order. Any discussion? Roll call then.
Don,
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. And agenda item number 15 is a change order for the sanitary sewer lining.
Yeah, this is the last one we've got for you guys tonight. This is another field discovery, so in order to do the lining, there's a few wet repairs that needed to get completed on the sanitary sewer pipe so that the lines can actually go through smoothly and be installed correctly. And so when the contractor for the manhole project had excavated and was working on the point repairs on this line, he discovered that there was actually a 6-inch clay pipe that was shoved into an 8-inch. And so the pipe size changes, and we were not able to identify that on the CCTV. So in order to make this lining still work, there's a transition liner that can be installed, and the cost for that is $4,500. And it will be less expensive than replacing either the 6-inch or 8-inch to make it all the same. Having this transition liner will be the best option moving forward here. And then also with this, we are establishing the unit price. We had 8-inch liner unit price already in the project, but we didn't have 6-inch. So they've included the 6-inch, and as they're establishing quantities when this is actually installed, they will not account for the 8-inch liner that had been initially in the bid quantities, and they will count the 6-inch usage.
So I gather that when it changes to 6 inches, that's not a bottleneck that's going to cause problems if it's been that way for a while?
Yeah, and this is actually a dead-end line. It's only got a couple services on it, so it starts where the services go into the 6-inch line, and then it expands into the 8-inch further down the system. So having that 6-inch there, I'm not concerned about that as a bottleneck, no. But yeah.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Harley, second from Kathy, to approve this change order. Is there any other discussion? Roll please, Deb.
Don,
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you, Emma.
All right, thank you so much.
Agenda item number 16 approves the fiscal year 2024-25 annual reports.
So I will keep this high level, but happy to go into details because it's, I don't know how many hundreds of lines of data, but this agenda item has 3 different reports on it that are more or less just reporting out for our fiscal year 2025, which ended June 30th, 2025. So this information is put together with post our audit, so we make sure all the numbers line up. But the kind of high level on the first one, the annual financial report. At the beginning of fiscal year 25, the city had a fund balance of approximately $11,250,000. Over the course of the year, we had total revenues of approximately $30,700,000. And total expenses of approximately $28,900,000. Then we ended the fiscal year fund balance as of June 30th, 2025 at slightly above $13 million. So we did see a slight increase in our fund balance on the general fund, but then kind of the bulk of kind of that increase was accounted for in the proprietary fund, which is the sanitary sewer, which is going to account for the revenues as we have those pay apps
and we draw down the SRF loan on that, that gets counted as a revenue, in addition to the, increased rates that we have, currently that are above our operating needs, which will ultimately be used to pay that debt service when that begins. So, overall, it's, our financial, position, some of these things, it's, we've got projects outstanding, money allocate, kind of earmarked for different things, but overall, our financial position on here improved with a stronger fund balance at the end of the fiscal year. The second item, I guess, any questions on the financial report? The second report on there that is due December 1st is the urban renewal report for fiscal year 25. Urban renewal is the authority under which we the most typically here's referred to this as a TIF, or tax increment financing. So this is basically how we're using this economic and development tool under the city's urban renewal plans and how those were utilized in FY25. So we had two rebates to developers paid, $49,572 to FP Algona LLC, which is Fouch Brothers, which is for the development of the Obi-Lang Apartments. Under that development agreement, they receive 100% rebate on the taxes for the improved or value added by improvements over 15 years. So that will go through FY 2033. And then the other rebate agreement was to Crimmins Investment LLC, which was the developer of White Transfer out on Poplar Street. So there's a 10-year TIF rebate agreement on that. And so this is the final year of that, or FY25 was the final year of that. The city rebated $78,003 to the developer on that, and then that this year will come fully on the tax rolls and pay property taxes as they were, but without receiving a rebate. And then we had $385,000 in change, which was TIF funds utilized for our debt service payments and reimbursing infrastructure costs for the development of Snap-on Drive and the Keek Industrial Park. And then the third and final report is the street finance report. And this is due to the state as part of the funding that we get from the state on the road use tax. And basically reporting out how we utilize those dollars and have other street operating expenses for FY 2025. So for the fiscal year in FY25, we received $779,260 in road use tax funds. Road use tax dollars fund the vast majority, but not all, of basically the personnel and operating expenses of the street department from an operating perspective in a given year. Happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, what we have it on the agenda, we just need one motion approving the three reports, and that will submit them to the state.
So what kind of oversight do we have, like on the Obi-Lang school? There's been some complaints from people living there about them being very slow to respond to, say, heating issues and stuff like that. I mean, I know that they had made promises when we first did this agreement that they were going to keep it upscale and working fine. I don't know. Do we follow up on that once in a while, or?
So obviously, this is for payments already made for the the current year that we're in. Those rebates payments are made after they pay their taxes. And then at the end of the fiscal year. So on that specific item, we've had internal discussions with code enforcement as well as the fire department. And we are planning to have a review and inspection of that property based on those complaints that we recently had. Basically make sure that they're remain in compliance with the development agreement or identifying things that need to get brought up with that development agreement. So obviously that lays out, the development, what they need to do, but with that is they need to not only develop it, but then maintain the property sufficiently and in accordance with all federal, state, local laws. And so obviously the heat issue that they had here recently, that is something that under Iowa code, you have to be able to maintain a minimum temperature. So from the last we spoke, that has been fixed, but just out of kind of a due diligence on us still having that development agreement, I want to make sure that everything is operating and being maintained in accordance with the agreement. We are going to be following up with and doing an inspection to confirm those things or identify what needs to be brought up to code or improved or adjusted in accordance with the agreement.
Motion to approve the annual reports.
Second.
Motion from Ronnie, second from Jessica to approve these annual reports. Any discussion? Again, Jacob, I just want to say thank you for keeping the city in sound financial condition, and the council as well, too, because you're all part of it as well, so. Vote please, Deb.
John?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Motion carried. Whoop, motion
Yes.
carried. Sorry.
That's all right. Hold on.
Okay, so the final agenda, item number 17, this approves a pay application for residential tax exemption.
This is an application for tax abatement for a new residential construction out at 530 Eastland Circle over the 5 years, 100% of the eligible exemption. So recommend.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Rodney, second from Jessica to approve this application for tax exemption. Any discussion? Vote please, Deb.
John?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Harley?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
Rodney?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Motion carried. It's 5:37, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this city council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, the meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.